presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Hey, I'm going to follow you. Fly away to Malibu. The light just radiates, as Courtney Love once sang. We are in Los Angeles, radiating from Chavez Ravine for the final time this season. A chance to close the year against the boys in blue with a win and make Dodger fans a little more nervous about that slim two-game lead atop the NL West. Zach Greinke for L.A., Trevor Cahill for Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball presented by Sanderson Ford. For the final time this year, it's the Dodgers and the D-backs on Fox Sports Arizona. Good afternoon from Dodger Stadium. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly along the way. This is it, Dodgers and D-backs for the final time this year. And Bob, this West Coast road trip so far for the D-backs has been a showcase for their shortstop, Didi Gregorius.
It's really been remarkable. You come to the ballpark every day expecting to see something you've never seen before, especially defensively by Didi. You see him make a play like he did in San Diego, and you think that's the best play of the year, and then he comes back the next day and makes a better one. He has truly been amazing.
Well, let's start with that play at Petco Park a few games ago. Here is Didi on his defense.
When I was running, kept looking up and down to look where I'm at. So that's one thing we make for sure, like when I'm close to the dirt. So it means I'm like a couple steps away to get to the fence. And, well, I just made a good play right there. So that's, it's all timing and all that stuff, and then try to slow down and make the play.
Cover a lot of ground to the right, and that throw across the diamond was phenomenal.
I'm just trying to make a play every day, so that's the main thing. Make routine plays and you make some highlight plays, and that's how you got to play the game.
And here is the play that Alan Trammell, the Gold Glove shortstop himself, has said he's never seen anyone make before, Bob.
And it doesn't matter what angle you look at this play from. It was absolutely tremendous. The range that Didi showed, the body control to reach down. He had to pick that ball right off the dirt. It didn't take a hop to come up to him. Had to reach all the way down to the ground to make the play. Still has the body control and the arm strength to throw back across his body from behind third base in time to get Turner at first. Just one of the most remarkable plays we've seen this year by anybody.
He's got that incredible throwing arm on an absolute rope to Mark Trumbo to get the out. Alan Trammell has been coaching him up, and it's starting to pay off. When we come back, more on Didi Gregorius. Remember, there's one D in defense. There are two Ds in Didi. It's Greinke and Cahill, Dodgers and D-backs for the final time this year on Fox Sports Arizona. Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Jack in the Box. If the D-backs hit a home run today, score a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with a purchase of a large drink.
A sunny Southern California Sunday here at Dodger Stadium. The final chance for the D-backs to knock off the Dodgers this season. And welcome back to the show. You know, throughout the ups and downs of the season for the D-backs, one of the constants has been their defense, and lately it has been simply sensational thanks to Didi Gregorius. His play at shortstop not only helping his team, but helping out others who are making a transition to a different position, like Chris Owings.
I've been watching him, since last year, and he's special over there. He really is. He's got a cannon for an arm and great hands. And in spring training it was great. I've taken ground balls with him multiple times, and it's just fun to watch. And you can learn stuff from him.
Does that make your comfort level even better when he's doing what he's doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's just he makes good throws on turns. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. He's going to put the ball pretty much where he wants to. So he's a good guy to have over there, especially me just starting out over there. So he's special.
Here's one of the plays that Alan Trammell was raving about last Wednesday. The shift was on for Seth Smith. The grounder to CO, but Didi did a great job getting to second base, establishing a target. It made the play, what could have been very difficult, pretty routine, a double play that got the D-backs out of a jam. It's that kind of growth that we've seen from Didi this season that a lot of people believe he's going to be an elite defender for years to come. Well, stay with us. Bob and Steve back for the call in just a little bit as the Diamondbacks wrap up their three-game stay here at Dodger Stadium. It's Trevor Cahill for the D-backs against Zach Greinke for the Dodgers. D-backs hoping to spoil the day for the Dodgers. Back with more baseball live on Fox Sports Arizona next.
Four of the 18 meetings to this point, and the season series that began oh so long ago in Sydney, Australia back on March 22nd comes to an end here on September 7th in Los Angeles. And your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the Dodgers is Zach Greinke. His 28th start, looking for his 14th win, and coming off 8 innings of 4-hit ball at San Diego in his last start. That was Saturday.
Yeah, took a no decision in that game. The Dodgers dropped that game to the Padres 2-1. Has a full arsenal of pitches at his disposal. 3 different fastballs, a curve, a slider, a changeup. He'll change speeds on his breaking pitches. Really has a lot to offer out there on the mound, no question about it.
An all-star this season for the second time in his career. Zach Greinke, the ERA is 6th best in the National League. Only 6 pitchers in the league have more strikeouts. The whip, walks, and hits per innings pitched is 10th best. He is a problem. Ender Inciarte set to lead it off. Final time in 2014. The D-backs and Dodgers. Glad you're with us here on Fox Sports Arizona.
And Greinke especially likes pitching here at Dodger Stadium. Since coming over to the Dodgers, he's had 26 starts. This is number 27. He's 15-4 with a 2.34 ERA. Pitching here at Dodger Stadium, 7-2 at home this season.
0-1 to Ender Inciarte in the leadoff spot at 2.66 on the year. Scott Berry is our plate umpire this afternoon. There's a strike, 1-1. To say the Diamondbacks have had a tough time with Zack Greinke this season might be putting it mildly. 3 previous starts against the Diamondbacks this year. Greinke 2-0, a 0.93 ERA. He has worked 19 innings against the D-backs, given up just 2 runs while striking out 22. Ender a base hit yesterday. He has 6 hits on the road trip. He's also walked twice. Two balls and 2 strikes. Another warm day here in LA. A little warmer than we're used to, BB, this time of year here.
It's smoking hot, especially down there at field level. Fortunately, we're in the shade up here in the press box with some fans blowing, but it's going to be a hot one down on the field today. Ball should be jumping if you can make good contact.
And a bright sky overhead. Not much of a breeze down there on the field. Ender cannot hold up, and there's the first strikeout for Greinke. 1 down. Take a look at the lineup for Kirk Gibson's Arizona Diamondbacks.
Inciarte at the top. Chris Owings batting second. Mark Trumbo moves up to the 3 spot. Miguel Montero cleaning up. Cody Ross out in right field. Big double in the game last night. Jake Lamb at third base. Alfredo Marte in left field. Didi Gregorius at shortstop. And Trevor Cahill, the right-hander, doing the pitching for the D-backs.
Chris Owings batting second in the lineup today. Again, no A.J. Pollock and no David Peralta. Pollock onto the lineup with a little groin, not quite injury, just not feeling 100%. They want to give him another day today with a day off schedule tomorrow. And Peralta's back, which was much better yesterday, is still just a little gimpy, so they're going to give him one more day here with the day off coming up. So yeah, hopefully he'll get healthy for that Giants series.
Yeah, no question. We did see Pollock pinch hit in the 7th inning last night. Got a base hit, drove in a run, but they'd like to stay away from him if at all possible.
A ball and a strike to Chris Owings. This is bounced to third. Justin Turner's down there this afternoon. Plants and throws, and yes, Gonzalez keeps a foot on the bag. 2 down.
Turner unloads that ball quickly, a little bit offline to the outfield side, but Adrian Gonzalez, for a big lumbering runner, he handles himself really well around that bag at first base, makes the appropriate shifts, gets his glove out there in a position, and manages to keep that left foot on the bag.
Excellent play by the Dodger first baseman. 2 down for Mark Trumbo now. Mark comes into the ball game at .239 on the year, 8 home runs, and in the 3-hole this afternoon. There's a strike, 0-1. Trumbo, a 7-game hitting streak. He's also got doubles in 4 consecutive games. He has reached base safely in 16 straight. Batting just about 300 during a 7-game hit streak. No balls and 2 strikes. Mark Trumbo since August 1st hitting over .290, 10 extra base hits. He says, you know, the overall picture for him is okay, but the clutch hits haven't materialized. And he says, you know, you kind of need those every once in a while, not just to help the team, but to help yourself. He'd like to have his confidence in those situations come up a bit. Lays off that one, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
When a guy is hitting as consistently as Trumbo has recently, you'd like to think just the law of averages. He's going to get some of those big hits with runners in scoring position, but Diamondbacks as a team have really struggled in that category.
Yeah, Mark says sooner or later they're going to show up, those big hits. He sends this one out to right field, but Matt Kemp is there. And Greinke works a 1-2-3 first. We are just underway for the final time this year at Dodger Stadium. Back today, his 14th start of the season, and he appears to have again wandered off course in his comeback attempt this year. The command and control have become a big issue once again for Cahill. He walked 6 in his last start. That was the road trip opener on Monday at San Diego. And over his last 4 starts, a span of less than 21 innings, he has walked 16.
Boy, if anybody needs a strong finish to the season just for his own peace of mind, it would be Trevor Cahill. Obviously a very disappointing season. Found himself back in the minor leagues earlier this year. Came back and looked like a different guy. Was throwing more strikes, but more recently he has just really struggled to consistently find that zone.
Yeah, the numbers from that start Labor Day at Petco Park. Miguel Montero called it disappointing because Miggy believes that Cahill has got the best stuff in the Diamondback rotation. And Montero, who's behind the plate today, says that Cahill could be pretty nasty if he figured us out because he's got such great stuff. He's got that good sinker, the change-up, the curveball, but in the words of Miguel Montero, unfortunately, he's wasting it.
I think that's the way a lot of people within the organization view Trevor Cahill. This guy obviously has the kind of stuff that he should be a perennial 15 to 20 game winner. Top of the rotation guy, but until he finds the consistency with his command, he's just going to be another guy.
D. Gordon leads it off for the Dodgers, and Cahill strikes him out on 3 pitches. Good start for Trevor here, 1 down. Here's the lineup for Don Mattingly's Los Angeles Dodgers.
D. Gordon at the top, Hanley Ramirez batting second, Adrian Gonzalez, good career numbers against Trevor Cahill. Matt Kemp out in right field. Andre Ethier gets a start in left. He has good numbers against Cahill as well. Justin Turner down at third base. Yasiel Puig in center field. Drew Butera doing the catching today for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Hanley Ramirez now. 264, 13 homers for Hanley. He's got 10 career home runs against the D-backs, and he rifles that one to second base, and Chris Owings is there to make a leaping catch for the second out. Well, some of that DD defense is rubbing off on the rest of the infield.
Boy, it's a good thing he does get to this ball. That ball was struck well and was slicing away from Inciarte in center field. Might have found the gap in right center for extra bases, but Chris Owings made sure that did not happen.
He says he feels comfortable down there at second base, and so far so good. 2 down now for Adrian Gonzalez. A 2-run homer last night. That brought his RBI total for the season up to 94. That's second in the National League behind only Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton has 36 homers and 104 RBIs. He's looking more and more like the NL MVP this year. Ball one to Gonzalez, who has hit in 4 straight. A little chat with Scott Barry behind the plate. Well, this guy's a tough out. 18 games against the D-backs this year, and he's got 19 RBIs. He has hit .407 versus Arizona this season, including 5 home runs. In the air to left field, Alfredo Marte has room in front of the wall out there. And it's a 1-2-3 first for Trevor Cahill. We are through 1, no score in Los Angeles. Device and visit your local Circle K for details. With the purchase of a 20-ounce Pepsi, you can win tickets to Super Bowl 49 in Arizona this February. Could use a 20-ounce Pepsi right now. Hot day. Zach Greinke, a 1-2-3 first. He'll work to Miguel Montero, Cody Ross, and Jake Lamb 4, 5, and 6 in the Diamondbacks second. Miggy, 253, 13 home runs, had the night off last night. He was 0 for 4 in the series opener here on Friday, struck out twice. Slaps that the other way for a base hit into left. Miguel Montero's aboard.
Now, Miggy didn't play in the ball game last night, but he did see action. Jock Peterson on a swing and a miss fired his bat all the way down to the end of that first base dugout, and Miggy had to hot-foot it out of the way. A little more comfortable here today in the lineup where he's less likely to get hurt.
Huh?
Clean single into left field. Nice opposite field approach against Zach Greinke. Good start.
And here's a guy who had one of the big Diamondback hits in the ball game last night, Cody Ross. Back out there in right field, 241 and 2 home runs. Just missed number 3 last night. He's got a pair of hits since coming off the DL with that left calf strain. Kept him out for 38 games. And hit one off the wall in left field in the ball game last night. An RBI double in the 7th, and later came around and scored the tying run. It was on A.J. Pollock's big 2-out single.
One thing to keep an eye on with Greinke is how often the Diamondbacks can square him up, hit the ball off the barrel of the bat. He has a lot of late movement on either the two-seamer or the cut fastball. His breaking ball has a very tight rotation and late movement. You'll hear a lot of weak contact. Balls out near the end of the bat or down near the trademark.
A ball and 2 strikes now. Yeah, Zach Greinke. Even when he's bad, he's good. He did not get the win his last time out at San Diego, despite giving up only 4 hits in 8 innings. Gave up 9 hits in 7 innings 2 starts ago against the Mets, but did get the victory there. 3 starts ago, he walked 5 in 5 innings right here against Milwaukee, but still gave up just 2 hits and avoided the loss. This one might get through, and it does. It squeaks into right field, even though D. Gordon is there to collect it. Ross is aboard, and Montero's in at second. First 2 have reached against Greinke.
To the plate, third baseman.
So that soft contact I was talking about, fortunately for Cody Ross and the D-backs, it's soft contact to a good location. Just a little squibber through that right side of the infield. D. Gordon comes over to make a diving play just to hold Montero at second base, keep that ball out of right field. Diamondbacks have it cooking here in the second.
And a big spot for rookie Jake Lamb. Jake Lamb flied out to end the ball game last night, pinch hitting against Kenley Jansen. Kirk Gibson said he really liked the at bat that Jake turned in against the closer. 188, 2 homers. Trying to shorten up that swing. It's something they're still working with him on. And Gibby said today one of the great things about Jake Lamb is his willingness to learn. Some guys kind of like to absorb stuff slowly and sort of ease into major league life because you have a lot of things being thrown at you. But Jake Lamb wants to learn everything as quickly as he can. So he has been a sponge so far, and the coaches love that about him. 1-1. He's had so much success in the minor leagues. He's hit everywhere he's been. But they're trying to get that swing a little shorter, a little quicker to the ball. And that's going to take some time.
Well, if you have a good eye at the plate and can work yourself into hitters' counts at the minor league level, you can get a lot of fastballs to hit. And you can afford to have a little bit of a longer swing because you can start it earlier, anticipating that 2-0 fastball or a 3-1 fastball. But at the big league level, we see it every day. Guys are liable to throw any of their pitches in any count.
Reaches down and pokes that into left. They will stop Montero at third, and the first 3 have base hits against Zach Greinke to open up the second. And we had this in the second inning last night. Bases loaded, no outs. Last night the Diamondbacks could not get a run across.
For the 5th time this season, Diamondbacks had them loaded and did not score a run last night. Jake Lamb just pokes that ball out into left field to load him up for Alfredo Marte.
You're talking, Bob, about the soft contact. All 3 hits in this inning. He's got a little bleeders that got through or dropped in. And now the bases are full with nobody out for Alfredo Marte. Including last night, 5 times this season, the Diamondbacks have had the bases loaded, no outs, and failed to score. That is tied for the most of the major leagues.
With the Yankees.
Oh, 0-1 to Marte. 188 on the year. .191 and 2 homers. He shoots that out to Kemp in right field. Montero's at third. He will tag. Here's the throw, and Miggy is out of there.
These are the kind of chances you have to take when you've got the bottom of the order making their way to the plate. You've got a team that just has not scored many runs at all lately. You'll take a chance. trying to score a run with the slow-footed Miguel Montero tagging on a medium deep fly ball to right field, and he's gunned out at the plate by Matt Kemp.
So quickly 2 down. You've got Cody Ross at third, Jake Lamb at first, and Didi Gregorius steps in.
And a nice tag at the tail end of that play by Drew Butera. Just went out to get the throw and then took the glove right to home plate, where Miggy was attempting to go.
Swing and bunt up the first base line. Butera is going to try the underhand toss, and Gregorius beats it out. Ross scores from third, and the Diamondbacks get a run across. It's 1-0.
Pitcher number 35, Trevor Cahill.
Talk about soft contact.
Yeah, it's a little smother ground ball up that first baseline. I'm a little bit surprised Zach Greinke didn't get to that ball a little quicker. He's a really good athlete and generally fields his position really well, but it's Drew Butera who comes out from behind home plate. Little shovel toss on to first base. It's too late to get Didi.
So Lamb at second, Gregorius at first. Still 2 outs, and here's Trevor Cahill. 2 for 19 on the year. Well, 19 innings this season against Zach Greinke. Diamondbacks had scored only 2 runs. They've got 1 across here in the second inning to take the 1-0 lead. Cahill strikes out. Diamondbacks strand 2, but they do get 1. Home half of the second coming up. They lead the Dodgers 1-0.
And premiering Tuesday, September 9th, only on FX.
You've really taken ownership of that promo. I admire you.
Well, I got a little too excited today.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen to Trevor Cahill, leading 1-0 as we open up the Dodgers second. Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, and Justin Turner 4, 5, and 6. as the Diamondbacks get 4 hits in this second against Greinke, get a run across.
Boy, throw some water on those rocks, will you? It is really hot today. I mean, it seems like it's getting steamier and muggier and heavier air as the day moves on.
Our little hovel in here is not exactly climate controlled. LA in September. A little warmer than it's supposed to be.
That's a phenomenon that's not uncommon up in the Bay Area, where we're going next on this road trip. Generally, the month of September is the nicest month for baseball of the entire year.
Nice going. Really nice going.
I said generally.
You know what's going to happen now. Yeah. It's going to be 40 degrees every night.
That would feel pretty good right about now.
I think you're right, actually.
Just for a few minutes.
And so we are set to go now as Matt Kemp strolls in. He takes with him a 12-game hitting streak. And there's the Lionel Richie. Day off tomorrow. First of 3 against the Giants Tuesday. Diamondback Live pregame show at 6:30. Kemp 283, 18 home runs. During his 12-game hit streak, he's batting over .350. There's a strike, 0-1. Been a productive hit streak for Matt Kemp. 12 games, 5 doubles, 3 homers, and 11 RBIs. 2 of those home runs have come against the D-backs, including in Friday's series opener here. This was Kemp on Friday nights. Led off the 3rd inning against Vidal Nuno.
Well, not a bad pitch from Nuno at the knees on the outside corner. Kemp just drove it out of here into the Diamondbacks bullpen in left field, or right field rather, as he goes down on strikes on a breaking ball this time.
Second strikeout for Cahill.
Left fielder number 16, Andre Ethier.
And seeing the light of day today, Andre Ethier. It's been a while. He has become the forgotten man in this crowded Dodger outfield. That all seemed to change for Ethier right about the end of July. He's at .250, only 4 home runs. He has started just 7 games since August 1st and really has become, with these expanded rosters, their 6th outfielder. But he's starting today in left field. Just keeps sliding down the depth chart. When Matt Kemp or Carl Crawford were out with injuries, Ethier was in there every day, but when one came back and then the other, Ethier was relegated to mostly bench duty, and now he's gone from 4th outfielder to 5th outfielder, with Scott Van Slyke getting a lot of time against left-handers. And now with the rookie and top prospect Jock Peterson here, Ethier is at the back of the line. Slow roller shortstop, Didi Gregorius. The throw pulls Trumbo off the bag, and he took the glove with him. Glove and ball roll up the right field line, and Ethier's aboard.
And hopefully Mark's okay down there at first base. Always a dangerous situation when you get that hand and wrist near the legs of that runner as he's chugging down the first baseline. Looked like Mark came off the bag really early. We were talking about Adrian Gonzalez, and of course Adrian's had a lot more playing time at first base, but Trumbo seems to come off that bag really early on throws that are just a little wide at first base.
The error is charged to Didi Gregorius on the throw. Ethier aboard with 1 out for Justin Turner. Turner 0 for 5 in the series so far. He's at .320 on the year with 5 homers. Got a lot of moss up there. It's got to be a hot day to have that look going.
Wearing sleeves underneath his uniform.
Off the fist, Gregorius. Owings Trumbo, and they roll the double play, and Cahill is out of the second. A slow roller to shortstop. Didi Gregorius and Chris Owings turn it. Trumbo scoops it first, and through two, the D-backs lead the Dodgers 1-0. MLB.com at Bat App, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone or tablet. You'll get live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, stats, live radio broadcast, the MLB.TV game of the day, and a whole lot more. Download At Bat on the App Store or visit dbacks.com/mobile. Ender Inciarte leads off the third against Zach Greinke, who gave up 4 singles in the second. Diamondbacks got a run across on a swing and bunt RBI by Didi Gregorius, and they lead it 1-0.
The 4 hits in that second inning. Really, the Miguel Montero soft line drive into left field, the only ball that was hit well, but Diamondbacks put him in a good place, able to play to run.
And Greinke throwing strikes, 30 pitches, 22 for strikes. And he's behind on Inciarte, 3-0. Ender struck out his first time to lead off the ball game. Ball 4, leadoff man aboard for the second straight inning. Inciarte.
Batting next, second baseman, number 16.
First walk issued
Chris
by
Owings.
Zach Greinke. Chris Owings grounded out his first time up. CO 3 hits and 18 at bats on the road trip so far. He's at .270 on the year. Inciarte 14 for 17 in his stolen base attempts. Fell behind 3-0 on Inciarte. 2 balls and no strikes to Chris Owings.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Inciarte takes off on the pitch. He'll have to hurry back as Matt Kemp camps out underneath that one. 1 down in the 3rd.
Chris Owings trying to guide that ball to the right side of the field, preferably a ground ball to the right side, but that time got under it, just lofted that high fly ball, and Ender Inciarte running with his head up, saw the ball in the air immediately and slammed on the brakes, was able to get back to first easily.
Mark Trumbo flied out his first time up. Greinke getting a little wild here in this 3rd inning.
Really fighting himself out there on the mound too, barking at himself, snapping the ball back from Butera, his catcher.
Big swing and a miss by Trumbo, a ball and a strike.
Probably not in the strike zone right there. Trumbo may be doing Greinke a little bit of a favor, but you can't blame Mark. He sees so few pitches from the middle of the plate in that he might have a chance to lift in the air to left field. When he does see one, it's tough for him to lay off.
Now 25 games since his last home run, and still just 1 homer in 48 games since his return from the DL. That's at about 200 plate appearances. And the foot injury that kept Mark out nearly 3 months really kind of derailed this season. But he says he's feeling good now, feels motivated, and he's kind of accepted the fact that in terms of the numbers, it's not going to be a banner year this season. 3 months on the DL took care of that. But he does think he can end strong, feels great right now, certainly refreshed, hasn't played much compared to years past, and can take that confidence into next season. Greinke strikes him out here. 3 strikeouts for Greinke, 2 down.
That's how the Dodgers have been attacking him throughout this series. Maybe show him a pitch off the plate inside and then cutters and hard sliders low and away.
Inciarte still at first after the leadoff walk. Owings flied out, Trumbo struck out. Here's Miguel Montero, who singled his last time up. So Miggy now 6 hits on the road trip and 4 RBIs. One and 0 to Miguel Montero. D. Gordon at second base out there, kind of playing a one-man shift. He's about 5-10 steps back in right field.
And with his speed and quickness, you can consider D. Gordon a one-man shift. He can cover all that ground on the right side by himself, starting from where he is right now.
And we've seen him do that a number of times against the Diamondbacks this year. He is really good at ranging toward the right field line and toward first base. He can cover a tremendous amount of ground between where he is right there and the right field line. Once again, Greinke behind in the count. 2-0 to Montero. 3 balls and no strikes. He has thrown ball 1 to all 4 batters in this inning. He has gone 2-0 to 3 of the 4 in the inning.
I would assume Miggy has the green light here, 3-0. If he gets a pitch to his liking, just make sure it's exactly the one pitch you're looking for in one zone.
That was not it. Ball 4. Second walk in the inning issued by Zach Greinke. Diamondbacks will have 2 on and 2 out for Cody Ross. Clearly something has gone awry here for Greinke in the third. I mentioned that 3 starts ago he did walk 5 in 5 innings against the Brewers here, but still gave up just 2 hits and avoided the loss. His last time out he was outstanding against the Padres at Petco Park, only 4 hits allowed in 8 innings of work. Cody a single his first time up. Inciarte at second, Montero at first. Boy, he is really misfiring out there right now.
Just about as badly as I've ever seen Zach Greinke struggle. Really nice to take advantage of it before he does settle in, if he does settle in.
There's a strike, 1-1. He's not a guy that has often a lot of traffic around him on the bases. 10th in the National League in WHIP, which is walks and hits per innings pitched, basically measuring how many base runners a pitcher allows. He's top 10 in the league. Two balls and a strike. Cody off the fist, dunks that one into short right. They will wave Inciarte. Here's the throw from Kemp. It is not in time. Ender scores. An RBI for Cody Ross, and it's 2-0 D-backs. I don't think they've had a hard hit ball yet off Zach Greinke, but they lead it 2-0.
Right off the end of the bat, which is probably a good thing. If he squares it up, it more than likely carries all the way to Matt Kemp, but because he hit it off the end of the bat, Inciarte gets a jump at second base and scores on his belly with the second D-backs run of the game.
Cody 2 for 2. And now here's Jake Lamb. Jake singled in his first at bat against Greinke. And now Drew Butera. They need to figure something out here fast.
It's a tough one for a manager and a pitching coach when you have a guy that has such a track record like Greinke does. And I'm sure he's had starts where he was a little shaky early, but then settled in. But he is showing no signs at this point here in the third inning of settling down, commanding his pitches any better. Hasn't given up hard contact yet, but really putting himself in a hole by falling behind hitters and walking guys.
As Rick Honeycutt out to the mound, he has, you said it, Bob, fallen behind the first time through the order. Zach Greinke threw strike 1 to 7 of the 9 Diamondback hitters. The second time through, so far he is 0 for 6 in throwing strike 1. And the balls on the pitch count are piling up here. 29 strikes and 20 balls now. Inciarte walked to lead off the third. Owings flied out. Trumbo struck out. Montero walked. Ross's single made it 2-0, and here's Jake Lamb. He gets this in the air. Shallow right field. Easy play for Matt Kemp. And the Diamondbacks strand two, but they get one more. Cody Ross so far today, 2 for 2. He's got his 13th RBI of the year. And the Diamondbacks lead the Dodgers 2-0. On the Twitter with the hashtag and the whole thing, AZFanPhoto. For your chance to have your fan photo shown in our game broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. And the hero of last night's drive out of the ballpark, Leo Gilmartin, our radio engineer, is on the case again today as anointed by the Brenly Committee.
Yeah, big crowd here at Dodger Stadium last night, and in an unusual phenomenon you rarely see. A lot of them stayed till the end of the ball game. We thought it was going to be a long trip back to the team hotel, but Leo Gilmartin zigged and zagged and got us back there in about 21 minutes.
I don't know how he did it. Had more than 50,000 in here last night. Yasiel Puig had last night off. He is back in there in center field, but hitting 7th in the order for Don Mattingly. He was hitless in Friday night series opener. The bat has vanished down the stretch here for LA. And vanished might actually be putting it mildly. There's the strike 0-1 from Trevor Cahill. Since August 1st, August 1, Yasiel Puig has just 3 extra base hits and 4 RBIs. He has not homered since July 31st.
Only 2 homers since May 28th.
And Don Mattingly says, look, obviously the Dodgers are going to be better if Puig is rolling. Even Mattingly says he can't deny that. And obviously they would like to get him back to the form he had in the first half. Right to Didi Gregorius. Throws him out, 1 away. Puig, if you go back to August 3rd, he was hitting .323 for the year. The highest his batting average had been since the middle of June. He hit in 6 straight games, but since that point, August 3rd, he's hit .188, and the batting average has dropped almost 30 points in fewer than 30 games.
Puig suffered a similar meltdown in the final month of the season and into the playoffs last year, too.
Yep.
Long season. Good month in May, good month in July. The other months, not so much.
Drew Butera lifts that out to left center field. Inciarte and Marte almost collide out there, and Ender has it for the second out.
Pitcher number 21.
Those moving parts in this D-backs outfield as of late, with so many guys up here right now. Inciarte screaming off Marte, who holds up at the last moment.
Got to talk to each other out there, especially on a Sunny day like this here in Southern California. A lot of things to deal with out there in left center field on that drive, and Inciarte took charge, made the call.
Zach Greinke can hit. He's pretty good up there with the stick.
Career .215 hitter, only hitting .180 this year. Does have 4 doubles on the season, however.
Was the Silver Slugger winner, in fact, last year as the best hitter at his position.
Yeah, sometimes batting average is not the best way to judge whether a pitcher is a good hitter or not. I like to see how many walks a pitcher takes, if any. And Zach Greinke has 4 walks this season. Which tells me he's got a pretty good idea for the strike zone, what he can handle and what he can't handle.
He was ahead 2-0, but Cahill is even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trevor has allowed only 1 base runner so far. Andre Ethier, who reached on a throwing error by Didi Gregorius. Here's a chopper up the third base line. That is a foul ball. This one in fair territory up the third base line, right to Jake Lamb, and Trevor Cahill works a 1-2-3 third. He leads it 2-0.
And that's all I can ask for, you know, as a pitching coach. You know, you get guys, when I have the 5-6 guys that I've had for this last 3-4 months, I mean, they're eager to learn and they want to work. So it makes it easier as a pitching coach to go out there and get stuff done with it.
Our quote of the game brought to you by Geico. D-backs pitching coach Mike Parkey has to be very pleased with the way his starter rotation has performed over the last little stretch, dating back 10 starts. ERA just a tick over 2. Their record, unfortunately enough, 4-6. But guys have been going deep into games and giving this team a chance to compete. And really, at this point of the season, now bumping to that 6-man rotation, that's all you can ask for.
Last 10 games, Brad, a 2.17 ERA, but only 4 wins in those 10 games. The offense has not been there for them.
I guess if there was a criticism of the starting rotation over the last 10 games, it's that they haven't hit enough.
Well, ever since Paul Goldschmidt went down on August 1st, the offense, which has already suffered through so many losses this year, has really slumped. as Marte leads off the 4th against Greinke. Diamondbacks since August 2nd, the day after Goldie was hurt, have hit only 16 home runs. And the record since Paul went down is 11-20 a team batting average of .224. They are scoring just over 3 runs a game. Offense has been hard to come by. Marte shoots that out to right field. Right to Kemp, one away.
Shortstop, number 1, Didi Gregorius.
That's the 5th putout through 3 1/3 that Matt Kemp has recorded out there, and a lot of the base hits that have snuck through have been out his way as well. Didi Gregorius drove in a run his first time up, an RBI single, really a swing and bunt that just kind of rolled slowly up the first base line. And Gregorius beat it out, allowing Cody Ross to come across. Diamondbacks added 1 in the 3rd on a Ross RBI single after Inciarte led off the inning with a walk. And they lead it 2-0. But Greinke is used to not having a whole lot of runs up there on the board behind him. And his win total, he's going for number 14 today. Especially pitching for a team with about a $250 million payroll, should probably be higher. A lot of it's no fault of his own. Dodgers have not scored for him either. In fact, they have scored 2 or fewer runs of support for Greinke in 7 of his last 9 starts.
Yeah, we talked about that with Vidal Nuno, a guy that's pitched extremely well and has absolutely nothing to show for it, basically because his offense just haven't scored any runs while Vidal's been in the ball game. And I mentioned that there seems to be one starter on every staff that just doesn't get much offense to work with. Now, in Zach Greinke's case, more often than not, he's able to work with a very little wiggle room, but really laboring today.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Didi Gregorius, who strikes out. 4 strikeouts for Greinke, 2 down in the 4th. Yeah, LA has scored more than 3 runs in a game only 12 times in Greinke's 27 starts this year, and only twice in his last 10 starts. So it's been a high wire act for him, and usually he maintains his balance up there. 2 down for Cahill.
That one got a bite of Drew Butera behind the plate right there. And with that in mind, Scott Berry, the home plate umpire, is going to walk the new ball out to the mound to give the Dodger catcher a little bit of time to regroup.
See, A.J. Ellis, the starting catcher most of the time, knows what he's doing. It's his bobblehead day today. And he's like, I'm going to take the day off. I've had enough of this. So Butera is getting abused back there today. .60 pitches now for Zach Greinke, 37 for strikes. 0-1 to Trevor Cahill. That one just missed Ender Inciarte, standing in the on-deck circle. That was a little too close for comfort. Fidgeting, fighting it. Body language out there. Cahill pops this one up near the second base area. Gordon fighting that sun, and he's got it for the final out in the top of the 4th. Diamondbacks at Chavez Ravine lead the Dodgers 2-0. And your dog can escape the heat. And taking a ball game as Bark in the Park returns to nice, comfy, cozy, air-conditioned Chase Field. You and your best four-legged friend can watch as the D-backs host the Padres next Sunday, September 14th. Come early now, and you can take part in our pregame puppy parade around the warning track. However, keep this in mind, fans. You can only bring your dog if you pre-register and buy a special Bark in the Park ticket package. Now, that's easy to do. You can learn how exactly at dbacks.com/barkinthepark, and we'll see you and your four-legged friend at Chase Field. Trevor Cahill having a real friendly time out there today. He leads it 2-0, and through 3 innings, Trevor has thrown only 27 pitches. Now, keep in mind, this is his 167th career start in the major leagues. 27 pitches, tied for the fewest he has ever thrown through 3 innings of a start.
Outstanding beginning here today for Trevor Cahill. Hopefully he'll be able to maintain it, and we haven't seen that occasional sinker in the wrong batter's box, or a pitch that sailed all the way to the backstop. His command has been pretty good right around the plate.
Last time he had 27 through 3, April of last season against the Giants, and Trevor's line that day outstanding. Gave up just 1 run on 4 hits, went 8 innings and had 5 strikeouts. He has yet to allow a hit through 3. D. Gordon leads off the Dodger 4th. He struck out his first time up, and that's been a concern with D. Gordon lately. Now, the bat a little more lively over the last week. He had 3 hits last night. But there has been a concern that Gordon is fading a bit down the stretch here. And there's a strike, 0-1. He has walked. Keep in mind, he's the leadoff man. He's walked only once in his last 38 games, including today, while striking out 32 times. It's supposed to be the other way around.
I think it speaks to the depth of this Dodgers offense, though, when D. Gordon is struggling and Yasiel Puig is struggling, and those two guys are kind of the motor. They're the energy in this Dodger lineup, and they're not doing much at all, but they're veterans. Adrian Gonzalez and Hanley Ramirez and Matt Kemp have really stepped it up.
Didi knows he has to hurry to get Gordon 1 down in the 4th. Yeah, there's been some thought that, Gordon's a guy, keep in mind, he's never played in more than 87 games in a season in the big leagues, and now playing in game number 134, so maybe he's wearing down a bit. And here's another guy they need to get going, Hanley Ramirez. He was the engine that drove the Dodger bus last year through that 42-8 stretch. He lined out to Chris Owings his first time up. Hanley Ramirez since June 1st has hit only 4 home runs. That's a stretch of 58 games. And he has had, it seems, something wrong with him physically over the course of the entire year. He's gone through issues with his thumb, his calf, his shoulder, his leg. Just came off the DL with an oblique issue. And Mattingly said this week he doesn't think Ramirez is hurt right now. And they think that he's swinging the bat good, in the words of Mattingly. Just had to get himself some better pitches to hit. And he has hit only about $160 in 11 games since coming off the DL with that right oblique strain. There are always certain little safety phrases that managers can throw out to the media out there, because their job is to protect their guys in the public eye. That's part of the deal. So, you can always say, well, it's just trying to do too much up there. And Mattingly keeps using that one with Hanley. Stay within yourself.
Yeah, let's try to help the club win. I would have to think that in the grand scheme of things for the Dodgers, because of his track record, Hanley Ramirez is always going to be an offensive threat. Even when he struggles, he's always 1 game away from busting out of a slump. But defensively, he has lost several steps. The Dodgers have been taking him out late in games with a lead in favor of Miguel Rojas. That's a key position to not be able to cover much ground.
Okay, Hill was rolling along. That's his first base on balls issue. And Ramirez has a 1-out walk. Trevor, over his previous 4 starts, a total of 16 walks. That's his first one today, so keep an eye on that as Gonzalez comes up. Gonzalez flied out his first time. 2-run homer last night in the first inning against Chase Anderson, his 20th of the year. There goes Hanley. Here's the throw. There is no throw from Montero. And stolen base number 13 for Hanley Ramirez.
Miggy just couldn't make the exchange from the glove hand into the throwing hand quickly enough. Pretty good jump over there by Hanley Ramirez. Straight steal, never looks back to home plate, and in at second without a throw.
Greinke walked in Ciarte to lead off the third. Ender wound up coming around to score. Ramirez on second after a one-out walk here in the fourth, and a one-out count to Gonzalez. And we've talked about how Gordon has struggled, about how Ramirez has struggled. This guy has been carrying the ball. As we mentioned earlier, 19 RBIs versus the Diamondbacks this year. That's in 18 games. He's hit 400 versus Arizona this season. If you go back to August 6th, Adrian Gonzalez was slumping. His average for the season was down to 257. Since that point, he's hit about 370. And now Cahill has to fight to strand that one-out walk to Hanley. Off the fist, a little looper, but Didi is there. And that's a big out, number 2.
Right fielder, Matt Kemp.
Matt Kemp now. Cahill struck him out his first time up. This is where, Bob, you want to see Trevor compete. You hear the old slogan, it goes back to what we were just talking about, bear down and all that stuff, but he's got to get out there and he's got to compete right now.
You have to recognize the game situation, and this is a key point in the ball game right now. You got a hot hitter at the plate with a runner in scoring position. Your team has spotted you to a 2-0 lead. Make your best pitches of the game right now.
Kemp hitting about 310 since the All-Star break.
Good 1. Good change up to start the sequence, figuring Kemp's up there looking to ambush the first fastball he sees. So Trevor throws something that looks like a fastball, but just flutters up there on the outside corner.
The changeup and the curveball, which helped Trevor be so successful when he first came back from the minor leagues. Got away from him a bit his last few starts, but those pitches appear back on track today. 0-2 now. Trevor admitted after the San Diego start it's frustrating because he felt like he's been making strides toward limiting the walks and pounding the zone more, and he's done that today. But to go through an experience like he had at Petco Park on Monday, where it all kinds of just kind of crumbles down on him, it's frustrating as he feels like sometimes he's back to square one. These are the numbers in his previous start on Labor Day. The 6 walks in 4 innings.
It's probably fortunate he didn't give up more than 3 runs. That Padres team is offensively challenged as well.
Miguel Montero said about that start, when he got ahead, Cahill got in trouble because he just couldn't put guys away. And now he's trying to put Matt Kemp away here, ahead of ball and 2 strikes, and Ramirez on second with 2 outs. And he got him. He strikes out Kemp for the second time today. Trevor Cahill strands that one-out walk. He is through 4. He has not yet given up a hit, and he leads it 2-0. Arizona is brought to you in part by Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz.
Fly away to Malibu. In the words of Courtney Love, Diamondbacks lead the Dodgers 2-0 here. Trevor Cahill has yet to give up a base hit. And the D-backs lead Zach Greinke.
This is why we show up at the ballpark every day. You never know what you're going to see. A Greinke-Trevor Cahill matchup given their recent track record. And you'd have thought possibly the roles would be reversed. But Trevor Cahill spinning a gem here today. And Zach Greinke struggling mightily.
Top of the order here in the Arizona fifth. Inciarte, Owings, Trumbo, 1, 2, and 3. Ender has struck out, walked, and scored a run. He's 0 for 1. And Ender, if you go back near the end of May, the point at which he essentially became an everyday player for the D-backs this year. That's a span of 79 games. He's hit .284 over that span, so he has really done a good job in there. And Ender says he is he's considering everything. He's really satisfied with what he's done lately and the way things have gone for him after overcoming that slow start. And Kirk Gibson earlier today was talking about how Ender just has kind of a knack for being involved in these close plays. He's got that speed. He's always close to beating out something. Stealing bases. Trying to beat out infield hits. And what Gibby likes about him is you can always tell what Ender's feeling. He is a little bit of an emotion, heart on his sleeve kind of guy. And that fits the manager's profile, certainly. You knew what Gibby was feeling when he was out there. There's a little slap hit the other way. Inciarte on the run. Makes it close, but Turner gets him 1 down.
That's another reason why a lot of close plays for Ender Inciarte, especially at first base. That time he was kind of coming out of the box as he made contact, almost running before he made contact. Yeah, a little tapper right to Turner at third base. Shouldn't have been this close, but kind of leaning back out of the batter's box as he made contact. Turner has to rush his throw across the diamond, and once again, very close.
And Chris Owings just kind of taking his time getting into the batter's box. Gibby will say every time in a play like that, the first thing Inciarte does is look at him in the dugout and say, I was safe. He's got that enthusiasm. I guess we all did when we were 23.
I don't remember.
So long ago. Chris Owings is 0 for 2. CO 3 hits in 19 at bats on the road trip. He was 0 for 4 last night. And as we saw when he caught that liner at second base off the bat of Hanley Ramirez back in the first inning, seems pretty comfortable at second base. That's worked out well so far. This is in the air to center field. The Yasiel Puig. 2 down.
First baseman, number 15, Mark Trumbo.
Another chance for Mark Trumbo, who's 0 for 2, trying to extend that hit streak to 8 games. Talked about this last night, Bob, when it was warm very early in the ball game. We had the 1 hour earlier start last night. That thought the ball might be flying out of the ballpark last night. That I assume would be the case again today on a hot day here in LA.
Yeah, this ballpark really plays as 2 different parks depending on whether it's a day game or a night game.
Shatters the bat that gets almost out to second base. Turner will throw out Trumbo. Greinke avoids a base hit and the bat in that inning. And the Diamondbacks, as we go to the bottom of the 5th, lead it 2-0. Here's a look ahead for next weekend. Diamondbacks home against the Padres. Game 1 Friday, 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Arizona. Game 2 on Fox Sports 1 at 5. And then Game 3, Fox Sports Arizona back home at 12:30. Well, Trevor Cahill, so far through 4 innings, he has not allowed a base hit. He has walked 1 and struck out 3. Leads it 2-0. He'll work to Andre Ethier, Justin Turner, and Yasiel Puig, 5, 6, and 7 in the LA fifth. Andre Ethier says it's tough living with what is now a greatly reduced role. One where you come to the field every day, you just check the lineup card and see if you're in there, and as of late, he has not been. It's been something he's lived with for close to 2 months now, and he's getting a little grumpier as time goes on, as you might have predicted.
When you are used to being an everyday player and you find yourself in the role that Andre Ethier is now, you actually have to work harder to stay sharp. You know, when you're seeing good live game pitching every day, your batting practice is just designed to kind of loosen you up a little bit and get ready for the game. But when you might not see live pitching for 3 or 4 or 5 days at a time, you really have to work a lot harder in the cage. You have to work a lot harder in the video room to stay prepared.
Not something he's used to. Lines that out to right field. Nice sliding grab by Cody Ross, taking a base hit away.
For the Dodgers, third baseman, number 10, Justin Turner.
Struck well, hung up there just long enough for Cody to get in there with a slide, make that catch.
And they're going to have to figure out the Ethier situation here this winter, especially now with the emergence of Jock Peterson, their young outfield prospect. Because they owe Ethier at least $56 million for 3 more years following this season. So that's not going away. Justin Turner grounded into a double play his first time. He takes strike 1. Here's Andre Ethier, who for a while was saying all the right things. Less so lately. Ball and a strike to Justin Turner. This guy's done a heck of a job for him all year long. Especially with Uribe on the DL not once but twice with hamstring issues. Right behind Low Bundy down there at third. It's 2-2. Trevor Cahill made his return to the D-backs rotation July 18th, and when he came back from the minor leagues after being designated for assignment, he simplified things up there. Pretty much sinker, changeup, curveball, and that combo has for the most part worked for him, especially the off-speed stuff. And when he first came back, it worked out really well. He issued a total of only 5 walks in his first 5 starts back, but then 16 walks in his next 4. And he's 3-2 on Turner. Along the right field line, Cody Ross tries to make another sliding grab, and watch out for that wall out there.
That's a slide more designed to protect himself against that side wall down there as he got close to the wall. Go into the slide, get that foot up there to protect yourself. Just couldn't quite get there in time.
David Peralta still with a minor back issue, so Kirk Gibson giving him another day today before the off day tomorrow, and they hope that Peralta and Pollock will be good to go by the time we open up against the Giants on Tuesday. And so it's Inciarte in center and Ross in right.
probable starters for that Giants series. Wade Miley against Yusmeiro Petit on Tuesday night. Josh Comenter against Ryan Vogelsong on Wednesday. And then Randall Delgado against Jake Peavy in the finale of the road trip.
The Dodgers, 20 games left in their season. They'll play 16 of those against NL West opponents. They begin today only 2 games ahead of the Giants atop the division. San Francisco will have Tim Hudson on the mound tonight at Comerica Park in Detroit. That's the late game today.
The Dodgers have to like the fact they have so many games against the West to close it out, because they've been really good against the West this year. 18 games over 500 going into play today.
One out walk, the second issued by Cahill.
Center fielder number 66, Yasiel Puig.
And here comes Puig. Yasiel Puig grounded out his first time.
Giants play the Tigers later tonight. I'm sure there'll be a lot of interested Dodger eyes on that game.
Good at bat there by Justin Turner to work that walk. He fouled off a bunch of pitches. Puig has dropped down in the order as he has slumped. This is his first ever start. Batting 7th in the Dodger order. And you can see he's in a couple of months where he hit close to 400. But lately it's been about 200. Since May 28th, he has hit 2 home runs. Turner off with a pitch. The throw from Montero is not in time. Justin Turner, his 6th stolen base. Second today for LA.
Good jump by Turner, and we talked about this this season. With Trevor Cahill on the mound, it's not always easy to throw out attempted base stealers because the ball's moving so much as it gets into the hitting area. That sinker is tailing down and into the righty, the breaking ball going down and away from the righty, and as a catcher sometimes it's tough to square that ball up in the mitt and make a nice quick exchange.
Behind on Puig, 2-0. Pops him up first base side. Trumbo. Owings over there. Mark looks up into that sun, and that's the second out. Puig struggles continue. Well, you know, the last 80 games for Yasiel Puig, he's got 2 homers and 20 RBIs. Drew Butera, the start behind the plate on A.J. Ellis bobblehead day. Wants to deal with that. Butera flying out to center his first time up. Boy, Trevor, you could not have started off more efficiently than Trevor Cahill today. A 7-pitch first, a 9-pitch second. But the pitch count, inning by inning here, keeps going up. 16 last inning. This is number 16 this inning. And it's a strike, 1-1.
Little backdoor sinker, starts it just off that outside corner, tails it back to the plate. That's a pitch a lot of right-handed hitters will give up on. They see it out there off the plate away and assume it's going to be a ball, and that late movement brings it right back to the corner.
Did you work with pitchers who seemed less committed to the pitches they threw than others?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it was puzzling. You could never figure out why. I caught a couple guys that were vaguely similar to Trevor Cahill in that they had the kind of stuff that you would assume they're a perennial 20-game winner. There's no way this guy shouldn't win 20 games a season. But yet it seemed like every start they would go out there and battle themselves and battle against me and battle against the pitching coach and just never reached the full potential based on the stuff that they had.
2-2. Because that's always what you hear. With his stuff, he should be blah, blah, blah. And that's certainly the case with Trevor.
I'll tell you who you really hear that from are opposing hitters.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody likes to face Trevor Cahill.
Well, the ball's moving all over the place. He went, says Mark Carlson, who rings up Butera and gets Cahill out of the fifth. He strands another 1-out walk. And through 5, he has yet to allow a hit. He leads it 2-0. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Montero, Ross, Lamb in the Arizona 6th. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball is presented by Sanderson Ford. Trevor Cahill with the pitching coach Mike Harkey so far through 5 innings here at Dodger Stadium. Trevor Cahill has yet to allow a base hit. He has walked 2 and struck out 4.
Looks like they're talking about Trevor's delivery to home plate and possibly the reason why the Dodgers have stolen a couple of bases against him already. Maybe doing something to tip off when he's going home, as opposed to when he's picking over at first base.
Well, they have tried, when he pitches from the stretch, to simplify things, get him to start with his hands in a different place, kind of cut down on the moving parts to help him be a little more efficient out there when he has traffic on the bases around him. And that has been a work in progress. Miguel Montero leads it off against Zach Greinke here. Greinke has retired 7 straight. Miggy has been aboard twice today, a single and a walk.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Yes, he went, Pat Huber. A ball and 2 strikes to Montero. Diamondbacks had the bases loaded, no outs in the second. They got a run across on an RBI infield single by Didi Gregorius. Cody Ross had a 2-out RBI single in the third, 2-0. There's a swing and bunt. Greinke is on it. Throws him out. 8 straight retired by the Dodger starter. 1 down.
Batting next, right fielder number 7, Cody Ross.
And here is Cody Ross. 2 for 2. A couple of singles. He has scored a run and he's got an RBI. Here's a guy who says he definitely plans on being a big part of this Diamondback team next year. He wants to finish that contract in Sedona Red and be a contributor after so far would have been 2 injury-marred seasons. And he plans on being the same player he was before. And if he has to fight for a job in spring training, that's okay. And he will have to, with as many options as the Diamondbacks have out there.
I was just about to say that's a good attitude to have, because there figures to be some spirited competition, not only for some outfield spots, but spots all over the diamond next year.
Cody yanks that one hard down the left field line. He jumped on that one, turned on it. Dave McKay will wave him into second base. And Cody Ross is 3 for 3. That's his 7th double.
Coming to the plate, third baseman, number 19, Jake Lamb.
We saw BB hit one off the bullpen wall out there last night. He really pulled that one down the line.
A little different looking swing for Cody Ross this time around. Wasn't really driving the ball well throughout most of the season. But more recently, he's been squaring the ball up and making a different sound coming off his bat. He narrowly missed a home run last night and spanks this one down into the left field corner for an easy double.
Cody Ross now with 4 hits in his last 5 at bats. And he's on second with 1 out for Jake Lamb. Jake singled in the second, flied out in the third. He's 1 for 2. .80 pitches for Greinke, 52 strikes. And the Ross double snaps a string of 8 straight retired by the Dodger right-hander. If you have the idea, Bob, of trying to get Jake Lamb to shorten up that swing and be a little quicker to the ball, I mean, what can you do mechanically to make that happen without completely tearing the thing apart and starting over again?
You know, I think at this stage it's more of a mental approach than it is a physical change. I mean, you could drop his hands a little bit lower, maybe not carry him so high above that back shoulder. That'll speed your route into the hitting zone. But, you know, more than anything else, just speed up your thought process. Think about the count, think about the game situation, what pitch am I likely to see here, and then once you step in that batter's box, just think about being quick with your hands. Slow feet, quick hands. That's something Matt Williams, that was his entire theory of hitting. Slow feet, quick hands. That way your body is always under control. If your lower half is very slow in the approach to the ball, but your hands are very quick, it gives you that picture in your mind of what you want your swing to look like.
So it's about the solid base in a sense.
Yeah, solid base, you know, getting your balance, making sure your feet are underneath you, making sure that front foot is down when you're ready to initiate that bat through the hitting zone.
Well, he can hit. We know that. A .321 career hitter over parts of 3 minor league seasons. Jake Lamb. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So if you have that approach, combine that with maybe being a little more selective up there, good things are going to happen?
Well, I think so. I mean, we like Jake's swing from the moment we saw him at the major league level. Now, as usually happens with young players, opposing pitchers find the hole, and he saw a lot of pitches inside for a while, was having trouble catching up to good fastballs. Seemed like he was a little bit pull happy for a while. But we've also seen him drive the ball the other way. He's got good pop to the opposite field, and I think eventually he'll settle in to an approach that works well for him and the team.
Bounces this one to first. It backs up Gonzalez. Cody's in at third now with 2 outs.
It's a very fine line between messing with the guy's swing a little bit too much, especially a guy that's had the success Jake Lamb has had at the minor league level, but It's a little bit of a different animal up here in the big leagues. You face pitchers every day who have multiple weapons to go at your weaknesses. And once those weaknesses are exposed, it's up to you to close that hole in your swing, make some kind of an adjustment to get to that good pitching.
With the help of your coaches, like hitting coach Turner Ward here. So Ross at third, 2 down for Alfredo Marte, who was 0 for 2. He is flat out twice. And it's been 21 games now during Marte's latest stint with the D-backs. This is his 3rd call-up this year. And over the last 21 games, he's batting under 160. He has had, if you will, 3 chapters in the big leagues this year. Chapter 1, the month of May. Got his first call-up May 3rd. He was here for the month. Played in 11 games, just 5 starts.
The D-backs been a little more efficient today with runners in scoring position, taking advantage of the opportunities they've had against Zach Greinke. Not so much in the first 2 games.
A chance here with Cody Ross at third. Marte's second stint this year was a quick 5-gamer right after the All-Star break. That's when he hit that pinch hit grand slam in Philadelphia. And now chapter 3, this longest stretch since August 2nd. 21 games, 17 starts. And that is the swing we have seen him take throughout his tenure here at the big league level. He does not have slow feet.
Got that long loopy swing. Yeah, there's really only a few pitches he's going to be able to hit hard. And Zach Greinke's unlikely to make that mistake. A possibility here, though. Zach Greinke's uncorked 11 wild pitches this year. Drew Butera has 9 pass balls behind the plate. 2 strike count. Might try to bounce something up there. Comes right at him with a tailing fastball at 95.
Just does get a piece to foul it off. Greinke now at 90 pitches, 57 strikes. Here comes the heat. Tailing back in on the right-hander on the outer half.
That might be the best fastball we've seen from Greinke today, at least velocity-wise.
Yeah, that was one of the ones where he just let it go. There's your bouncer, but Butera gets in front, and it's a full count, 3-2.
Smothered that one nicely. That hard slider just off that outside corner.
Trying to get that run home from third with 2 down. There's another one in the dirt, and Marte works a walk. That's 3 walks now issued by Zach Greinke. And the batter will be Didi Gregorius.
Shortstop number 1, Didi Gregorius.
Greinke has not been sharp today. Didi drove in a run in the second inning. With an infield single, he struck out his last time up. Cody Ross is the runner at third after a 1-out double. Marte on first after a 2-out walk. If you're Greinke here, and you know they're going to let Cahill hit, he is not allowed a hit as a pitcher yet. How do you attack Gregorius?
I think you still go right after him the way you talked about earlier in the day in the scouting report.
And he does, and gets him to pop up to very shallow right field. Gordon is under it, and Greinke strands 2. Bottom 6 on the way. Diamondbacks lead it 2-0.
It's time for our quarter minute to win it, presented by Sports Authority.
Cox Communications and Fry's Food Stores is headed to Chase Field on September 28th. You can be on board. Just stop by this month's participating Fry's Food Store in Flagstaff, and you can enter to win 2 seats on the Fan Express bus to and from the game at Chase Field, September 28th. For more information, visit FoxSportsArizona.com. Trevor Cahill with a 2-0 lead is yet to allow a hit as we open up the 6th, and that's going to be it for Zach Greinke today. Carl Crawford will hit for Greinke to lead off the inning. So Greinke went 6, gave up 2 runs on 6 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 4 and leaves trailing 2-zip.
A good performance by the Diamondbacks against Greinke today. It was apparent early on he didn't have his best stuff, was fighting himself out there on the mound. They put together some good long at-bats. They didn't hit a lot of balls hard, but they really made Greinke work hard.
And now Crawford will hit for Greinke. Carl Crawford 0 for 3. He got the start last night in left field. Ethier is out there today. Crawford 271 and 6 homers. Hitless in the series. Lamb in on the grass at third. There's a ball, 1-0. Crawford over his last 22 games, hitting almost .390. He has been in and out of the lineup with injuries for the most part this year. There's a little flare into left. Marte is there. 1 away in the 6th. Bob Trevor Cahill has found the magic touch here today. He is our APS Energy All-Star.
All about command. Everything he's thrown has been around the plate or around the edges of the plate with some movement. Mentioned it early on in the telecast. We haven't seen him uncork that wild one over in the other batter's box, or the one that sails over everybody to the backstop. Really looks like he's feeling it and feeling good out there on the mound today.
He has allowed only 3 base runners. Ethier reached on an error by Didi Gregorius in the 2nd. He walked Ramirez in the 4th, Turner in the 5th. Dodgers still without a hit. Here's Gordon. And that's strike 1. Gordon slaps that one for a base hit down the left field line. He takes the turn and heads for second. Here's the throw for Marte, but it's not in time, and that's number 20 for D. Gordon. He's in there with a double.
Not a bad pitch. Miggy set up on the outside corner of the plate. That pitch was tailing away from D. Gordon. He just stayed right on it, slapped it down into that left field corner for the first Dodger hit of the ball game.
And Cahill comes up just shy of his longest ever no-hit bid. That came in his second career start back in 2009 with the Oakland A's against the Mariners, when he went 6 1/3 hitless. He makes it through 5 1/3 here today. Hanley Ramirez has lined out to second and walked. Again, Bob, we talked about wanting to see Trevor really kind of dig in and compete out there. He's given up his first base hit. Oftentimes, for a lot of pitchers, that's when things tend to unravel a bit. And he's got Gordon on second with only 1 out. Behind on Hanley, 2-0.
You got to at least split your attention a little bit with D. Gordon out there at second base. He's attempted to steal third 11 times this year. He's been successful in 9 of those attempts.
He leads the major leagues with 58 stolen bases. Cahill 70 pitches now, 40 for strikes. And he bounces one, and it's 3-0. A 4-pitch walk to Ramirez follows the Gordon double. That's 3 walks now for Cahill. And the tying runs are aboard in the LA 6th with 1 out. And the bullpen will get busy. Evan Marshall.
Well, as we talk about all the time with Trevor Cahill, 1 out in the inning. He's 1 pitch away from a ground ball double play. He got the right guy at the plate to do it. Adrian Gonzalez has bounced into 13 double plays this year. Does not run well at all. If Trevor can execute some sinkers down low in the zone, get that ground ball.
He's got Gonzalez twice today. A fly ball and a pop-up. Scott Barry will go out there and break up the conference. And Gonzalez steps in. A 2-1 home run last night. Second in the National League in RBIs behind only Giancarlo Stanton.
23, Adrian Gonzalez.
And hitting over 400 against the Diamondbacks this year. D. Gordon is at second, Hanley Ramirez at first. Evan Marshall continues to throw in the Diamondback bullpen.
That's a good idea to at least show that inside move to second base with D. Gordon back there. He loves to try to steal third. Just give him something else to think about.
We've got Lamb back and off the bag at third. Two and 0. Having trouble now throwing strikes.
Changeup this time. Hanging over the inside part of the plate. Fortunately, Gonzalez was geared up for fastball and just pulled that one over into the first base dugout. That's how you can get away with some pitches in different counts. If you throw that same pitch in a 2-strike count, Adrian Gonzalez is liable to hit one out of here. But in a 2-0 count, he's thinking fastball, wants to get that bat started and becomes susceptible to the changeup.
3 balls and a strike. Crawford hit for Greinke to lead off the inning. He flied out. D. Gordon doubled down the left field line for the Dodgers' first hit against Cahill. Ramirez walked, and now Gonzalez is ahead 3-1. Kemp would be next. He has struck out twice today. 3-1 is in the air to deep center field. Ender Inciarte is at the wall, and it's gone. Adrian Gonzalez does it to the D-backs again. It's 3-2. His 6th home run against Arizona this year. Games against the Diamondbacks this season, Adrian Gonzalez has 22 RBIs. Matt Kemp.
Throwing him a changeup, 2-0. He comes back with an 88-mile-an-hour sinker on the 3-1 pitch, and Gonzalez, to his credit, doesn't try to pull it, which probably would have resulted in a ground ball to the right side. He stayed right on it, hit it out of here to straightaway center field.
"45 games since the All-Star break. Gonzalez hitting about .340. 2-1 now on Kemp. How about these numbers? 22 RBIs in 19 games, including 6 homers. Two balls and 2 strikes. They estimate the distance on the Gonzalez home run at 442 feet. 442. Didi Gregorius. 2 down. Kemp 0 for 3. Here's Ethier.
The fielder, number 16, Andre Ethier.
Zach Greinke, who did nothing really but struggle all afternoon long against the Diamondbacks. Walk 3. Gave up 6 hits, 2 runs. Now in line for the win. the seats.
Fortunately enough, hang time that everybody in the vicinity had an opportunity to protect themselves or just get out of the way.
They're taking the bat away from the fan. And the security people will keep the bat.
I don't know if that's the case here at Dodger Stadium, but normally they take the game bat and the player will send up a brand new bat right out of the box to the fan that had possession of that wild one.
Got to get the gamer back. And there's a security person now for Dodger Stadium in the Diamondback dugout with the bat, which will make its way back into the rack so Ethier can collect it later.
Sinker that just didn't sink that time. 93, stayed inside off the plate the whole way.
Trevor Cahill has gone to 3-ball counts on the last 4 Dodger batters. And he walks Ethier. 4 walks for Cahill, second in this inning. And Kirk Gibson is going to make a double switch. Looks like Cliff Pennington is going to go out there. Might take over at shortstop for Didi. Didi ended the 6th, and Gregorius will come off, and it's Pennington at short. Evan Marshall was warming up out there in the Diamondback bullpen, and that's going to be it for Cahill. Trevor Cahill had a no-hitter going through 5 1/3, but he leaves with 1 out yet to get in the 6th, trailing 3-2. Back after this.
Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Cox Communications. Bundle and save with Cox.
Trevor Cahill here in Los Angeles entered the 6th inning with a no-hitter. He leaves trailing 3-2, and Evan Marshall is on. As Kirk Gibson double switches here, Cliff Pennington does indeed come in to replace Didi Gregorius at shortstop. So Pennington will play short and bat 9th. Pitcher spot is now 8th in the Arizona order. And Marshall is on to face Justin Turner. It unraveled quickly in the 6th for Cahill. Trevor got pinch hitter Carl Crawford to fly out for the first out of the 6th. Gordon doubled, Ramirez walked, Gonzalez homered. They got Kemp to ground out, walked Ethier, and that was it after 88 pitches. For 48th appearance this year for the rookie right-hander. Justin Turner has hit into a double play and walked. He is 0 for 1 and 0 for 6 in the series. Bullpen is busy. Carlos Frias, the right-hander, is out there. A hit for Greinke to lead off this inning. Hit into right for Turner. Ethier running hard, will stop at second. And the Dodgers have 2 on and 2 out for Yasiel Puig.
Center fielder, Yasiel Puig.
Puig so far 0 for 2. Would you want to manage this guy?
I don't know. I mean, we talked about it earlier this season. It looked like he had gotten some of those out of control emotions a little bit more under control. He wasn't doing as many crazy things as he did last year, but boy, dealing with a guy that is on an emotional roller coaster like Yasiel Puig would be a tough thing. Would I like to manage somebody with his talent? Absolutely. And you'd like to think that he can learn and smooth over some of those rough edges and be a more consistent ball player, especially on the bases and defensively. But I'm sure Don Mattingly has his hands full on a daily basis.
There have been a few behavioral issues as of late, as you mentioned, showed up about 5 minutes before stretching the other day. Mattingly has actually done a pretty good job not making a big deal of it. And he insists it's not a big concern. I guess if he wanted to, he could make it a big deal. It's probably in his best interest to kind of brush it off until things really get out of hand.
Well, the problem you might run into then is you let Puig do whatever he wants to do whenever he wants to do it, and suddenly the guys who have been in the big leagues for 10 years go, wait a minute, why am I here? If he's allowed to show up 5 minutes before stretch, I'm going to start showing up 5 minutes before stretch, and obviously that creates a situation.
Mattingly was asked about that. He said he's seen some guys that are in the Hall of Fame that got to the park late, got themselves ready to play, and just jumped in there. It seems you don't have to be one of those consistently early guys all the time to have success. Yes, Yasiel, that's ball 4. Go ahead. It's still 4. And the bases are loaded with 2 outs. And now we're going to get a hitter for Drew Butera. Looks like the rookie Jock Peterson will take the at-bat. The bases loaded and 2 outs. Oliver Perez. Where would they be without him this year? He has answered the call every time. Mike Harkey down. Evan Marshall and Jock Peterson. This is a matchup late in ball games in this Diamondback-Dodger rivalry that you might see a whole lot of over the next decade or so. These are two good young players. Peterson just won the MVP in the Coast League playing for the Dodgers AAA ball club at Albuquerque. He put up some ridiculous numbers. He's 2 for 12 in the big leagues this year.
If you're Evan Marshall, this is where you like to establish the trend right away. Hey, I know you're a good hitter, but I'm a good pitcher. And even though my back's against the wall right here with the bases loaded and 2 outs, you're not going to get me.
Jock Peterson.
Well, this guy hit .303 at Albuquerque this year. 33 home runs and stole 30 bases. Drove in 78 runs. That's the damage he did as MVP of the Pacific Coast League for the Albuquerque Isotopes. Andre Ethier is the runner at third. Justin Turner at second and Yasiel Puig at first. 2 down, 3 runs in on the Gonzalez homers, 21st. Yes, he went. Pat Hoberg down there. A ball and a strike to Peterson.
Pat Hoberg's strike zone's only marginally bigger today than it was last night.
Last night it was a little big, especially inside. Two balls and a strike. Evan Marshall so far has thrown 12 pitches, only 4 of them strikes. And the rookie all amped up. Ahead in the count, and here comes this.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier in the minor leagues. You could almost be guaranteed to get a fastball in that count. Jock Peterson was ready to hit an Evan Marshall fastball, but Evan threw him the breaking ball instead.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases full. Here it is. Evan Marshall gets Peterson to strike out, and he leaves him loaded. But the Dodgers, who started the inning still without a hit, leave it leading 3-2. Adrian Gonzalez, a 3-run shot, has given the Dodgers a 3-2 lead. Chase Field, presented by Ballpark Brand. Break out your lederhosen, brush up on the old polka music as you enjoy a special beer garden in our Chase Field Upper Concourse. Plus, you get this great D-Backs Ceramic Oktoberfest Stein when you purchase a special event ticket package. Got to get the ticket package to get the Stein, so visit dbacks.com/events. New pitcher for the Dodgers. It's the right-hander Carlos Frias. So far, 14 strikeouts against only 3 walks in over 20 innings.
He'll work his fastball both directions. He'll sink it, he'll cut it. He throws an occasional curve, occasional straight changeup.
Jock Peterson, the rookie, is in there in center field, replacing Puig, who now comes out of the ball game. And Cliff Pennington, who was double switched into the game at shortstop, leads off the 7th. Pitcher spot is now 8th in the Arizona order. A whole new battery for the Dodgers. They had Peterson hit for Butera, the catcher, so now A.J. Ellis on his bobblehead day is back there. Strike 3. Scott Berry rings up Pennington, 1 down.
High sinker this time from Frias.
Wow, come on.
High. Come on now.
Really?
Umpires have a flight to catch too.
I'm getting closer to your dark side.
Hey, I'm telling you, we saw it. We've seen it this season with the challenge system and the instant replays. How many times the umpires are wrong? Now, I'm not getting on the umpires, but we've seen it. We've got documented evidence. If they ever get into analyzing those strike zones and how many times a game and a count swings because of a bad call behind the plate, we will have an automated strike zone.
Oh, no. I hate that idea. I really hate it. But, boy, that was a terrible strike 3 call. That was brutal.
I also hate the idea that Major League Baseball, we're content to get some of the calls right, but not all the calls right.
High fly ball to left field. Ethier is there, 2 down.
I mean, obviously, just a ridiculously huge philosophical change in the game. But that's the way we're moving in every other aspect of our society. Why not baseball?
Well, it's the thing with replay. Once you let it in, it's going to get everywhere. It happened in the NFL. It's just the nature of things. Once you get a little bit of it, and which we had, a few years ago, boundary calls and whatnot, it just becomes more and more pervasive. And it's tough not to start looking at everything, and eventually you might look at balls and strikes, which I just hate the idea. But boy, you see calls like that, and you start to wonder. I think you're going to have a parade the day that they do that. You may be Grand Marshal.
No, I mean, in a perfect world, the umpires would never miss ball strike calls. But, they're human beings. The ball's moving all over the place. It's a hot day. Dirt got in his eye, whatever. But I've just seen too many at-bats and too many games and too many seasons swung on bad ball strike calls.
Are you okay with the idea? I guess the answer is no, but I'll ask anyway. Are you okay with the idea that different guys have slightly different zones? And that kind of becomes known over the course of a year or two?
Absolutely not.
All right.
It's in the rule book.
I figured I'd ask. Center field, Peterson right to him. Can he find it? Yeah, there he's got it. And Frias works a 1-2-3-7. Bottom 7 coming up. Diamondbacks trail at 3-2. see how Leo Gilmartin did in our AT&T fan photo contest. All right, this is a blatant attempt to get on your good side. I believe that's a pizza box.
Oh, that's the winner.
Wow, he is just really kissing up right now. So thank you, Dan, for your AT&T fan photo. You know, I submitted my own, and I knew since I gave it to Leo, it wouldn't be selected. But I wanted to give my man Gio a big shout out. There is a Gio, a member of D-Back Nation. It's his birthday today. He's 12 years old, and there he is with his favorite D-Back, David Peralta. That was last week. Throwback uniform. So happy birthday, Gio, and thanks for supporting the Diamondbacks and being such a great fan.
You got the snake sleeves, you got the uniform, the hat, the shades. He's got it all working.
I submitted this photo, and it was rejected in favor of a pizza box.
That's all on Leo. He knows.
Can we get robots to pick the fan photos?
No, we don't want to do away with the human element now.
Oh, no. Heaven forbid. I'm a human element guy. I'm an umpire fan. Look, I like the umpires. It's a hard job. These guys are the best in the world, and I'm okay with the occasional call that gets wrong. It doesn't set me off like it does you, but
well, like I said last year, that's because you never managed a team that had a call go against you that cost you a ball game.
Exactly.
And I like the umpires too, and they do work hard, and I've said repeatedly, baseball umpires are far and away. I mean, it's not even a close second. They are the best officials in any professional sport. But that being said, it's just too much to ask. You got guys throwing 100 miles an hour, the ball's dipping and darting and moving all over the place. The guys are bigger, faster. The game has moved so much quicker recently that I just don't think any human being can keep up. Now, most human beings with two eyes can see that pitch is high.
Scott Berry behind the plate. And it's okay to have a high strike zone. In fact, you're really, according to the rules, supposed to. But it's not a pitch you often see called for a strike.
Got to be in the strike.
Well, there is that caveat.
Yeah.
Oliver Perez, his 62nd appearance. And boy, he has been tremendous this year.
Yeah, I think just to put a bow on it, you know, we have the technology. For years and years in baseball, this was the best we could do. Have human beings make their best guesstimate on borderline pitches that are moving all over the place and trust that they're going to get it right more often than they get it wrong. But now we have the technology available to avoid bad calls. Embrace technology.
You got mission control over there. You got an iPad, a laptop, a phone.
I'm telling you.
2 monitors. I mean, it's like NASA over here with you.
And it used to be a pencil and a scorecard. Go get them.
A.J. Ellis will lead off the 7th against Oliver Perez. I just hate the idea of the pitcher winding up, throwing a ball in a key situation and just getting a beep.
Well, we can get a better sound effect if you don't like beep.
We're going to need one after that, but that's a strike. Can we record, I don't know, Durwood Merrill, somebody?
Oh, sure. We could have Beyonce sing strike one.
Well,
it doesn't really matter.
It's like as the Yankees celebrate Derek Jeter today in New York City, you know, he had Bob Shepard have his voice introduce him every time he came up, even after Mr. Shepard passed away. You get to, record some messages from umpires. And it'd be like having a ringtone on your phone. D. Gordon.
Yeah, you'd have your own walk-up music and your own strike music and your own ball music.
You could pick which umpire's voice comes out of the machine to call you out on strikes.
And really, for me, the only downside I can see to that automated strike zone, and this hits me in the heart, is it takes away the catcher's ability to frame those borderline pitches, which is a very valuable asset, as we've seen over the years. Miggy's one of the best in the game at making those borderline pitches look a little better than they are. We just came from San Diego, where Rene Rivera is really good at it. And we've also seen some catchers that are really bad at it.
See, I love this. This is the greatest point about your whole argument. 2-0 now to D. Gordon. Corners are in. once we, under the Commissioner Brentley regime, get the robot umps, you will in effect turn catchers, your old position, into robots themselves.
Yeah, I mean, now teams can do what they've pretty much been doing anyway. Just go for offense. Just get somebody back there that can thump. They don't even need a glove.
That would eliminate the gray area with a collision rule, too, as Gordon walks. I think that's a great irony that you would essentially eliminate your own position by bringing in robot umps.
Shortstop Henley Ramirez.
Set up a pitch back. One of those trampoline-like things right behind home
I used to
plate.
have that as a kid.
Yeah, we all did. Used to wear those out.
Firing tennis balls into that thing off the garage. Well, D. Gordon draws a walk. That is news in and of itself. Because if you go back to July 23rd, Gordon has been by far the hardest guy to walk in the National League, and he's a leadoff man. One walk every 162 plate appearances. And he's on base for the second time today.
And you know Gordon doesn't want to be at first base very long, but this should be a good cat and mouse here. Oliver Perez gives those base runners a lot of different looks. He'll slide step. He'll give you the high leg kick and look right at you over there at first base. Just try not to stay in any kind of a pattern.
One and 0 on Hanley Ramirez. Hanley has walked twice and scored a run. Gordon leading the major leagues down there with 58 steals.
As long as we're analyzing umpires, watch Mark Carlson on this pickoff attempt at first base. Did he really see if there was a tag or not? I guess he was looking at the play before turning away to protect himself in case that was a bad throw over there.
The eye in the sky sees all.
I'm watching everything.
There goes Gordon. It's a bouncer to shortstop that Pennington bobbles. With Gordon running, they might have had a shot to turn two. It was hit so hard in right to Cliff, but Hanley reaches and Gordon is in there at second.
And I think that's what Cliff was thinking as well. Even though Gordon's on the move, that ball was hit hard enough. If I get rid of it quickly to CO, we could possibly turn two right here. And he just tried to get a little too quick with the glove exchange. And didn't come up with a clean.
And now here's that guy again, Adrian Gonzalez. He had a big two-run homer in the first inning last night against Chase Anderson. A three-run shot off Trevor Cahill his last time up. His sixth home run against the Diamondbacks this year. Bounces away from Montero, and the runners will advance. Dodgers now with one out, have runners on second and third without the benefit of a base hit.
Miggy opened that left shoulder ever so slightly. His shoulders weren't square to the ball, and that caused it to ricochet over toward the Dodgers on deck circle when it hit him in the chest protection.
So it's Gordon at third now, Ramirez at second. The infield is in for Gonzalez. And Ciarte in center field, shaded well over toward left center. There is a whole lot of room out there in right center. Balls. A strike, 2-1. Center field. Inciarte at the wall. He leaps. And it's gone. No, he got it. Laz Diaz. No, it's gone. Laz Diaz signaled out, and now he is signaling home run. Laz Diaz, the second base umpire, ran out there, signaled out, but it's gone, and Gonzalez has done it again. Another 3-run homer. It looked like Inciarte initially made the catch. That what the second base umpire who rotates out there saw. Let's take a look.
Inciarte does everything he could possibly do back there at the barrier. Just couldn't get up high enough. Looked like it might have actually skipped off the top of the fence and on over. I was just watching the reaction of the fans out there in the front row of the pavilions, and when I saw their arms go up, I assumed the ball went over the fence.
Adrian Gonzalez, 7 home runs this season against the Diamondbacks, and now Matt Kemp takes it out of here. That's Kemp's 11th home run since the All-Star break.
And this one got way up in the air. Got a fastball down and in, barreled it up. Ball hung in the air for a long time.
Stites has begun to throw in the D-back bullpen. Back-to-back home runs here in the Dodgers 7th. Gonzalez and Kemp have made it a 7-2 ball game. And Los Angeles, which did not have a base hit going into the 6th inning, has 3 in the 6th and now 4 here in the 7th. Ethier gets plunked. And Scott Barry will ward both benches. And Oliver Perez and Don Mattingly can't believe it. Both the pitcher and the opposing manager are upset, and now Mattingly's been thrown out of the ballgame. Well, back-to-back home runs. Ethier takes one in the back. Scott Barry decided to put an end to that. And Mattingly has been run.
Just guessing Don Mattingly is making the argument, why issue a warning now? We haven't thrown at anybody all day long. They haven't thrown at anybody all day long. Of course, coming into this series, I'm sure the umpires were given a heads up from the MLB office to keep a close eye on things and make sure it doesn't get out of hand given the history.
So that's it for Mattingly. And now Clayton Kershaw has been ejected from the Dodger dugout by Laz Diaz, and Diaz is waving him off. tough inning for Laz Diaz. And he's hearing it. Clayton Kershaw.
Batting next, third baseman, number 10, Justin Turner.
Here comes Kirk Gibson. Mattingly and Kershaw ejected. Oliver Perez pulled from the ball game. Matt Stites is coming in. We'll take a break at Dodger Stadium. Between the D-backs and the Dodgers. It all started when Gonzalez and Kemp hit back-to-back home runs in the seventh inning. Andre Ethier followed Kemp. And this was the pitch from Oliver Perez that started everything. And automatic warnings issued by plate umpire Scott Barry. Don Mattingly sprang from the dugout. And he got ejected, followed by Kershaw.
Once again, given the past history of these two clubs, I'm sure this umpiring crew and every crew that umpires a Dodger Diamondback series is under instructions to keep a close eye on things.
That one came a little too close to Justin Turner for the Dodger Stadium fans, like it.
Well, the hometown crowd, all they want you to do is throw it right down the middle so their guys can whack the ball all over the ballpark. No intention there on the part of Matt Stites, I don't believe.
How does the warning now change things?
Well, since both teams are deep into their bullpen, the Dodgers have about 100 guys available down there. It wouldn't surprise me a bit to see the Dodgers retaliate here and sacrifice one of their young pitchers, go out there and earn the respect of your teammates and drill one of the Diamondbacks. But we'll see what happens.
That one almost drills Matt Stites as Turner knocks it back up the middle. Aboard for the third time today, 2 singles and a walk. And the seventh inning continues.
Pitcher number 77,
now the pitcher, Carlos Frias, will go ahead and take the at bat, I would assume, to put down a sacrifice bunt.
Pitcher spot now 7th in the Dodger order. coming in on the corners. There's ball one. Frias can go as long as you want here at this point. He spent most of his time in the minor leagues this year as a starting pitcher. And 20 starts between AAA Albuquerque and AA Chattanooga.
Give you an out here, throw a strike, let him bunt that ball. You might be able to get the lead runner, for sure get an out at first base, but it all starts with a strike.
Two and one. It's the bunt down. Trumbo spins and throws for the lead runner as they cannot record the out at first. Ethier is erased at third, though. And that's the second out. 3-5 on the put out at third.
Center fielder number 65, Jock Peterson.
Brings up Jock Peterson. Peterson hit for the catcher Drew Butera in the sixth and struck out. He has stayed in the game and took over for Puig in center. There's a strike, 0-1. Dodgers sent 9 men to the plate in the sixth. Peterson is the 9th man to hit here in the seventh. .98, a ball and 2 strikes. Six hits for the D-backs, 6 hits for the Dodgers. 3 of LA's 6 hits are home runs. A pair of 3-run homers by Adrian Gonzalez. He has tied a career high with 6 RBIs. From Steins misses. It's 2-2. Playoff tomorrow. Back with you on Fox Sports Arizona for the series opener at AT&T Park in San Francisco. 1st of 3 against the Giants. Diamondback line pregame show at 6:30.
First decent swing that Jock Peterson has had against a breaking ball in this series. It's pretty apparent he's a dead fastball hitter. Everything's geared for fastball. Got a hanger this time from Matt Stites. That's the best swing we've seen him take at a breaking pitch.
Got it up. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Turner at second, Frias at first. This one is lined to center and Ender Inciarte makes a nice running catch in the gap to end the 7th inning. But the Dodgers get 4 on back-to-back homers by Gonzalez and Kemp to lead at 7-2. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Trumbo, Montero, Ross, 3, 4, and 5 in the Arizona 8th. Through 5 1/3. But Adrian Gonzalez down 2-0 and a 3-run homer in the 6th inning made it 3-2 LA. Then Gonzalez added another 3-run homer in the 7th as Gonzalez and Kemp went back-to-back and the Dodgers opened up a 7-2 lead. Adrian Gonzalez, what a season he has had at the Diamondbacks' expense. In 19 games against the D-backs this year, he has hit 7 home runs and has 25 RBIs.
I think there's something to be said for guys that really step up at this time of year. I mean, it's not unusual for Adrian Gonzalez to hit 300 from the first day of the season to the last day of the season, but some of the guys that the Dodgers have struggling this year, he's really been the go-to guy and has been throughout his career.
And LA leads at 7-2, but it's tied up in the hit column at 6 apiece for each team. The Dodgers are only 2 for 9 today with runners in scoring position. The 2 hits are the 2 Gonzalez 3-run homers. And Trumbo will lead off the 8th. Mark so far 0 for 3. Should we anticipate anything from a Dodger pitcher?
That remains to be seen. Initially, I would say no. They have a lot more to lose than the Diamondbacks do at this point. They're a team that's looking forward to the postseason. They want to avoid that one-game play-in series and want to avoid suspensions to any of their pieces for the remainder of the season. I wouldn't think so, but there's been a lot of bad blood between these two teams, so we'll see.
Dodgers begin today with a 2-game lead over the Giants atop the National League West. San Francisco plays tonight at Detroit. Tim Hudson on the mound. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Trumbo. Mark trying to extend what is right now a 7-game hitting streak. The standings in the NL West. Doesn't look like a dugout that's particularly fired up about anything. Trumbo strikes out for the 2nd time today, 1 down. Miguel Rojas replaces Hanley Ramirez at shortstop.
And in action number 26, Miguel Montero.
Here's Miggy. He singled in the 2nd, walked in the 3rd, 1 for 2. Right to Turner at 3rd. Didn't even have to move. 2 down.
Coming to the plate, number 7.
Oh, a good day for Cody Ross. He's 3 for 3. A pair of singles and a double. He has scored a run. He's got an RBI. And Cody has base hits in 4 of his last 5 at-bats, going back to the ball game last night. Had an RBI double in the 7th last night. Flare out to short right center, and Matt Kemp makes a nice running sliding catch to end the inning. Frias has retired all 6 he's faced. Here comes Matt Kemp. A nice catch in right field. Home half coming up. Diamondbacks trail at 7-2. On for the bottom of the 8th inning, left-hander Jorge De La Rosa. And the Dodgers lead this one 7-2, 6 hits apiece. But 3 of the Dodgers' 6 hits are home runs, including a pair of 3-run shots by Adrian Gonzalez.
Tough decision here to bring De La Rosa into this ball game with Randall Delgado now part of the 6-man rotation, and both Reno and Mobile in the playoffs in the minor leagues. Bullpen's a little thin, and De La Rosa right now would figure to be your only long guy down there, but he's coming in here to pitch the bottom half of the 8th inning today.
It'll be A.J. Ellis, D. Gordon, and Miguel Rojas, 9-1-2 in the LA 8th. Ellis came in when they hit for Drew Butera, who got the start behind the plate on A.J. Ellis bobblehead day. So Ellis is in there. A walk and a run scored in Friday's series opener. He was 0 for 2 last night and struck out his first time up today. Yuri De La Rosa. It's a fair ball at third. A long throw for Lamb. And Mark Trumbo makes the tag. Nice play there by the rookie third baseman, Jake Lamb. He was standing back on that grass on the left field line. Let's make that our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game. Look how far Jake Lamb has to throw this ball.
He's got the right guy running in A.J. Ellis. Had some knee issues. Doesn't get down that line much anymore. And once again, Mark Trumbo comes off the bag to apply the tag as Ellis went running by.
D. Gordon has doubled, walked, and scored twice. He's 1 for 3. A ball and a strike.
This was like 2 different ball games. The first 5 innings when Trevor Cahill was absolutely dealing. Dodgers weren't even making solid contact. Didn't hit anything hard against Trevor through the first 5, and 3 in the 6th, 4 more in the 7th. Extra base hits, home runs all over the ballpark. It all started with the D. Gordon double to break up the no-hitter in the 6th inning with 1 out.
And then Ramirez walked. Gonzalez followed with his first of 2 3-run homers, and suddenly not only was the no-hitter and the shutout gone, but the lead as well. And Cahill, who started that 6th inning with a no-hitter intact, left in the middle of the inning trailing 3-2. And then in the 7th, another 3-run homer by Gonzalez. Kemp followed with a solo shot. Perez plunked Ethier in the back, and Mattingly and Kershaw were ejected after both benches were worn by plate umpire Scott Berry. We haven't seen any further histrionics since then. Let's hope we don't. Tapper back to the mound. It takes a funny hop on De La Rosa, who does a nice job fielding that one with his bare hand. 2 down in the 8th. Quick hands here.
Good job of staying with it. You know you don't have a lot of extra time. Just drops down to a knee, bare hands that ball, and fires onto Trumbo in time to get the speedy D. Gordon.
So now with 2 outs, it's Miguel Rojas, who came in to play shortstop for Hanley Ramirez. Rojas is 1 for his last 21 at the plate. Rojas 195 on the year with a home run. He was hitting .302 in 51 games with AAA Albuquerque when he was called up, and he pulls that one foul down the left field line.
I love reading the media notes. Miguel Rojas, to plate right now, came in for a defensive replacement for Hanley Ramirez. The Dodgers are 44-21 when he appears in a game. That's because he almost exclusively comes in when they have a lead late in the ball game.
I was going to say. It's like the closer. A little flare out to right. It'll back up Cody Ross, who's got it. And De La Rosa works a 1-2-3 inning. We will go to the ninth for the final time at Dodger Stadium this year. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Jake Lamb, Alfredo Marte, and the pitcher's spot in the Diamondbacks' ninth. They trail at 7-2. To the Diamondbacks again, a pair of 3-run homers today as we start the ninth inning.
Well, and the issue is you'd like to pitch around him, maybe walk him intentionally in some situations, but Matt Kemp hitting behind him in the lineup has been just as hot. But Gonzalez continues his dominance of Diamondbacks pitching. 2 home runs, 6 runs driven in today, 7 and 25 on the season against the Diamondbacks.
And Brandon League is on to work the ninth for the Dodgers. It'll be Jake Lamb, Alfredo Marte, and the pitcher's spot in the Arizona ninth, trailing 7-2. Brandon League was a failed closer here for a long time, but it's worked out. He's had a pretty good year this year. 2.95 ERA, his 55th appearance as a sit-up man. Dodger bullpen has had some injuries. A little short-handed back there from some of their big names. Lamb singled in the second. He's 1 for 3. That one got Jake in the foot or the leg somewhere down there.
Off the foot, near that right toe, ball of the foot area.
Three and one.
This is a little bit of an odd sight with a 5-run lead in the ninth inning. Brandon League came in to soon finish up the game, but J.P. Howell is warming. Possibly an indication that they don't think League's going to be in this game long. Brandon League has not been more effective. I just can't figure it out. We were talking early in the game about Trevor Cahill and his stuff and how well it should play.
This guy's got a filthy splitter.
Oh, a sinker splitter combination, everything moving down toward the ground. Fastball in the mid-90s. I wonder how anybody ever gets a bat on it.
Called strike 3.
Left fielder number 17, Alfredo Marte.
One down for Alfredo Marte. Pitcher spot will follow. Jordan Pacheco is in the on-deck circle. Marte is twice flied out. He walked his last time up. Dodgers on Tuesday will welcome in the Padres here at Dodger Stadium. And that'll be Babe Ruth bobblehead night. Now, I know you're saying, oh, wait a minute. Babe Ruth bobblehead at Dodger Stadium? Well, it's a reach. But he was briefly a base coach for the Brooklyn Dodgers.
I think they've had a bobblehead all day for everybody except the assistant groundskeepers here this year at Dodger Stadium.
So if you're in the area on Tuesday, get your Babe Ruth Dodger bobblehead. As one who has had his own very recent bobblehead day, I would think you'd be a little more magnanimous about that.
I think you could do a Babe Ruth bobblehead in anybody's uniform, but you know, to try to claim him as a Dodger in some way, shape, or form is a little bit of a stretch.
It's a little sketchy, I grant you.
Ted Williams bobblehead all day too. He once flew a plane that went over Dodger Stadium.
Ted Williams, of course, used to fly with the great Jerry Coleman. We were just in San Diego. Ted Williams was a pilot in World War II. They flew propeller planes, of course. And then when he was back in the service for Korea, it was all jets, so they had to go retrain all the pilots. He spent most of the time in flight school. Another called strike 3, 2 down. Well, talking about how filthy Brandon Lee can be at times. He's got 2 strikeouts so far, both looking. And Jordan Pacheco is last man standing.
For the Diamondbacks. Pinch hitting number 31, Jordan Pacheco.
Pacheco 5 hits in his last 34 at bats. He's at .222 on the year. Diamondbacks, as soon as the ball game ends, we are on an airplane to San Francisco. Speaking of flying, day off tomorrow. 1 to 3 against the Giants on Tuesday. Wade Miley and Yusmeiro Petit. Last time we saw him start a game at AT&T Park, he almost threw a perfect game.
Yeah.
And then Colementor and Vogelsong on Wednesday. Delgado, Peavy Thursday. Thursday's an afternoon game. Have all 3 for you here on Fox Sports Arizona. 1-2. Diamondbacks, when this game ends, will finish up the year 4-15 against the Dodgers. They won last season's series 10-9. Strikes out, league strikes out the side in order, and the Dodgers win it 7-2 to sweep the series. Adrian Gonzalez, 25 RBIs versus the Diamondbacks this season. That is the most in a single season all time against Arizona. The previous high was 22 in 2011, set by Matt Kemp, who followed Gonzalez's second 3-run homer with a solo shot of his own. The Dodgers only 6 hits in the ball game, 3 of them home runs, and that's the difference.
And a real oddity coming up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday when this Dodger team will actually be rooting for the Diamondbacks.
Go figure.
Go figure.
Unique twist to the end of a wild season here. 7-2, LA wins the series and the season finale. We are back with the Diamondback Live postgame show. After this brief timeout, D-backs lose 3 in LA. It's off to San Francisco. Reaction from Dodger Stadium when we come back here on Fox Sports Arizona.